Hello and welcome to another edition of What's Next with Joey McGuire. I'm Robert Giovanetti. Coach, always great to do these coming after a win, which we've done 7 times this year. And great finish Saturday for your guys.
Yeah, it was. I was proud of the guys. I said in the press conference, I was proud of the shutout. I couldn't tell which one I was more proud of, but after reflecting on everything, I'm more proud of our student body.
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
how great was that?
It was incredible. First showing up. I mean, how many rain delays can we actually have in a year in West Texas? But them showing up, and then it's really cool at kickoff whenever you see the towels waving and the fans getting in it. From my side, because I'm opposite of the students, and man, it was. I've talked to a lot of Red Raiders that have been here for a long time, and they were just blown away. And I'll tell you, this team was blown away with the response of how much everybody wants to win.
Yeah, I thought they listened. They wanted to be about the football team, but they made it about them too with their noise. And Coach, during the rain delay, a bunch of them were in already, but a bunch were outside, packed in there in Gate 6, and they hung out there. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I want to give a shout out too, because they're making such a difference as our game day team that runs all the video board and the messaging. And, I could hear, you could hear the message when the defense came on the field. It was, and the music, just everything. I just thought the environment was really, really good. And I think, you know how much I love our band, so it just takes that to another level. But I think we are really beginning to get back to some great times in Jones AT&T Stadium.
Mike Ryan, our facilities guy, who's hard to please.
Yeah.
Right? Mike's,
yeah. He is.
It was why he's good at his job.
Yeah.
He told me yesterday, he said, I feel like Saturday was a really big-time environment.
Yeah, yeah. And for him, too, I imagine he enjoyed it.
Yes.
I know he's on edge, but
he's always on edge.
Mike's a lot like a game day coach is, you're always in the moment. You have to be, and he's running the facility, and I know it's really important that we have such a great game day environment. So I know he was fired up.
So we talk about that. The kickoff was great. Students did what we wanted them to do, and was loud. And then all of a sudden, you look up, 6 points on the board.
Yeah. It's really good. We've added, Jacoby back into a lot of the return game. We're getting into some critical games. This Saturday is going to be one, but last Saturday was one, and he is such a natural. He sees the lanes, he hits them. He's very decisive. So we added him back in the return game, and I thought he made some big returns the week before that, but huge return to start the game off.
And we don't want to give KP too big a head.
Yeah,
he probably didn't watch this, but man, special teams have really been difference makers this year.
Yeah, you go back. It really got us back in the game against Arizona State. We are leading the country in block kicks. Whenever you're talking about punts and field goals, most of ours have come off punts. Oliver Miles, it's really cool. 2 roommates, best friends, Oliver Miles and Jacoby Williams, on special teams come up huge. And it's also really cool that Oliver Miles, who is so unselfish, just wants to win, has allowed us to add Jacoby back into so much return because we moved him to running back, and that gave us some depth in that room to put Jacoby back on teams.
And Jacoby is really explosive. It's fun to watch him play.
He is. He had another touchdown. He had the first 2 touchdowns and almost had another touchdown, right there, I think, at the end of half that put us, in scoring range.
I don't think enough credit gets given for a win like Saturday when Oklahoma State clearly struggling, and those are the kind of games maybe you can trip up on sometimes, but you guys came out and just took care of business. So mentally, I felt like it was a good game also.
Well, at the end of the day, and we've done the other. Like what you're trying to get to as a team and as a program, like that. This is what your program expects. handle what you're supposed handle teams that you're supposed to handle. Like, you're supposed to go out and beat Oklahoma State, then go out and beat Oklahoma State like we did. And there's been times, I mean, you go back to me almost having a heart attack on the sideline and with Abilene Christian, I mean, like you're in games and it's becoming a game and you're allowing it because you're not mature enough to go out there and take care of business. And this team is very mature, but this program is maturing to understand this is what you got to do in games like that.
And it's a little harder, right? Coming after a tough loss. I mean, that Arizona State loss, you guys, gave it, made the comeback and then lost that game in a disappointing way. But we're back now in a situation where you kind of control your own destiny.
Yeah, we do. I mean, this is a huge game. This is as big a game as I've been a part of.
These next 2 weeks, really.
Yeah, really
are. You're worried about Saturday.
Yeah, because you got to have Saturday to have the next Saturday. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole key. It's like when you win, the next game's even bigger.
Right.
And we already know that BYU's coming in here undefeated. Depending on what everybody does in the top 10, they even have a chance to move up if somebody gets tripped up in the top 10. I hope so, because I hope they're ranked as high as possible. But before we get there, we got to take care of K-State, and they're playing their best football right now. I mean, it's night and day from the team, the first 4 games to the last 4 games.
Yeah, they look like they've kind of figured it out offensively, which makes a difference. I think they've got a great quarterback, kind of guy that gives teams fits. And does this league not get enough credit? I know we've talked about this some, but we're beating each other up a little bit. In some other conferences, that's just like, oh, well, that's just the way this conference is. For this conference, it becomes a knock. But there's some good football being played in this.
Really good football and really good quarterback play. I'm telling you, I mean, I know I'll be biased like some other conferences are biased. The quarterback play in this conference is by far the best quarterback play. I mean, you could go team after team, and there's a lot of teams in the Big Ten and the SEC that would want these quarterbacks to be their starting quarterbacks. I do think this conference, and it has been for a long time, but they got the credit because of the spread offenses and air raid and different stuff like that. I mean, these are legitimate quarterbacks, big-time quarterbacks in this league, and it makes it tough whenever you're facing guys like that.
We talk about this in other sports, and now it's getting to be this in football. Do you feel like this league has done enough? And again, there's a lot of football left to be played to be a two-team league in the CFP or.
Well, I always look at it, yes, 100%. But then I always look at, like, you look at the history of, so last year was the first year of expansion. If the ACC got 2 in, one that got beat by BYU at their home place, if the ACC got 2 in, there's no way that there shouldn't be 2 Big 12 teams in this year. I mean, and honestly, there should be 2 ACC teams if those 2 teams continue. If Georgia Tech and Miami continue to play the way they should play, then there should be 2 teams out of the ACC. I mean, we have got to get past this conference bias that you got a patch on your jersey, because I could sit here and probably look at the other teams and say, well, these are the 2 teams that should be in the SEC right now, the way they're playing. These should be the 2 teams in the Big Ten, the way they're playing. That's Ohio State and Indiana. You're probably looking at the other conference. There's probably 3 whenever I could just off the top of my head, say Alabama, Ole Miss, and probably Georgia.
Okay.
But that them going 4 and 5 deep. I watched the football, man. That is a bias, media bias, without a doubt, and we got to get past that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when the first CFP rankings come out.
Comes out next week, I think.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting to watch and see where everyone stacks up. But I do think this Kansas State game, when you look at what's ahead of us, is maybe one of the biggest games in Tech history since maybe 08, right, with all that's on the line here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, with the expansion, it's going to be like this, and if they expand the playoffs even more, it's going to be like this every year whenever you're talking about, getting into the playoffs getting into the championship game, but also getting in the playoffs. When you're sitting here at 7-1, you're getting ready to play another game. You've got to win that game to move on and stay in the conversation. And I do think this is the biggest game. I know it's the biggest game I've been a part of, and I probably can look back and it would probably be, I know there's probably a couple of games throughout, but I'm trying to think, like, I don't know, Cliff. I know one year Cliff was undefeated at
7-0.
7-0. So, that game, whoever that next game was probably really, really big. So you can talk about that year and then go back to 08.
Yeah, it's speaking of 08, it's great to have Graham Harrell in the house.
Oh man,
last
weekend. It's incredible.
It was great. He was so happy to be here, and fans were so happy. He's one of the more popular Red Raiders of all time.
Well, and whenever your name goes on anything from your accomplishments at your university, it's pretty cool, man. It's going into a Hall of Fame. It's hard to do, but then whenever you go into Hall of Fame, but then you also, your name goes up there.
Yeah.
There's not many names up there, and there's been a lot of Red Raiders, and there's not many guys up there on the stadium, and he really deserves to be up there.
That's what you said on Friday night. My kids, when they're old enough to realize they're going to come in and see their dad's name up there, and that's
I offered his son. So
okay, well, he's got some good genes, right?
No doubt.
Let's go ahead and get him signed up now. And Coach Leach was honored by the American Heart Association. His daughter was here with her family, so that was cool. They were here in the field club too, so they got to, she got to see what's happened at Texas Tech since they left. So it was just a great experience with the win as well.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere, and you got to see some old Red Raiders. Got to see some players that played with Graham on Friday and a little bit on Saturday, and man, I'm really proud because I have a special place in my heart for the Harrell family. Sam, I wouldn't be where I was at. Like I can name about 5 coaches that have impacted my career to get me where I'm at. And Sam Harrell's one of them.
And he's so proud seeing him. It was cool to see that. It's good for, again, just a great weekend. Little negative news, obviously, Will going down. I actually watched the play a couple times this morning again, and it just one of those weird things.
Yeah, it's usually whenever you have a ACL, non-contact ACL, it is like you're sitting there going, man, that didn't seem like it was a lot, and there it is. It was kind of a little bit like Joiners. There wasn't a lot there, and it happens. It's always tough, and usually, non-contact, you're like, man, is it going to happen at some point? Anyway, I don't know. I'm definitely nowhere close to a doctor, but it's always weird whenever non-contact injuries happen that that could happen at any time, anywhere.
Yeah, I heard it Monday in the press conference. You get asked a lot about running the quarterback, but you can't put a bubble wrap around Barron or whoever's back there, right? These guys got to play. Barron is going to scramble.
Yeah.
He's going to get hit.
You think about like a couple years ago when Tyler got hurt at West Virginia, and then Will, those weren't quarterback runs. Right. Those were, stepping up in the pocket. I mean, you look at Will's, he was gaining a lot of yards. He stepped up in the pocket. OSU covers wise. They had their backs turned to him, and he's running down the field. So it's one of those deals that's just a unfortunate injury.
Yeah. How does a guy like Will handle that? Because he's such a mentally strong kid.
Yeah, I saw him this morning. We were talking, and I know he's had it. Moments, whenever you go through that, there's always moments with players that are down. I'm sure he's had it away from here, but like CD's in there with him in the training room, and CD goes, "How are you feeling?" He goes, "Man, I'm good." Like, he is so mentally strong. And the thing about Will, he attacks everything. From the way he watches film, he attacks everything. So he'll attack this recovery, and I think we already have it scheduled. I don't know exactly what the date is, but I believe it's the next week. And that will help because that gives us as much time. And, we have the best doctors and the best training staff in the country to get him ready.
Yeah, you mentioned Joyner. So you got Joyner. We already talked a lot about Skyler going out. Now, Will, I mean, this team has suffered some big blows, also speaks to the depth of this group.
Yeah, and it's tough because those guys are playmakers. You know, I mean, the Red Raider Nation didn't get to see Jordan play. Yeah. Man, he is special, you know, and we're expecting him to be back next year, ready to go. But you lose a guy like Skyler who makes such an impact on and off the field. That's a big blow, and now losing a guy like Will makes such a big impact on and off the field. It's a big blow. But it does speak to the depth because, you know, you saw Mitch come in and I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
Minus he was a little juiced up, so it was a couple of high balls that he threw. But other than that, I thought he really delivered.
Hey, as we look at these next few weeks, this is something you've been building for your entire career, and you guys are very routine. This is what we do on Mondays.
Yeah.
This is what we do on Tuesdays. Is it hard to kind of keep all that containment? Because you're an excitable guy too. And I mean, how has it been for you? Is it just like business as usual?
Yeah, it has to be, you know, because the guys feed off of you. So I'm exactly who I am. You know, I told the team that after our first loss, and we've never experienced a loss with this team. And so if I come in and I'm different in the building, you know, they question like, hey, Coach, you said you're going to be the same way every day, and this is what we expect to see. And then all of a sudden a loss changes that. Then I'm really kind of honestly BS. Right. Like, I don't believe in the stuff that we talk about every day about getting to what's next and controlling what you could control. And so I think that's really important for these guys because it levels them out. Because trust me, you know, they know exactly what's on the line, and they feel the pressure, you know, and it's awesome. It means you're live, you know. Right. It means that you're in a position that there is pressure, you know, and you know, that's the life we chose, and now you go out and you control. So I think it's really important that me and the coaches, I tell the coaches the same way, like, you can't change. I mean, if you're a guy that's hard on your players, then you need to be hard on your players whenever we're winning, when we're losing. If you're a guy that, you know, is you got to pick and choose when you are, then you got to pick and choose. Like, we can't deviate from who we are, and then we got to believe in what we do.
Yeah, it's still 1-0.
No doubt.
Kansas State all over the building. Doesn't have BYU or UCF or Western.
And I don't care who we play after K-State. This it's all about K-State. It's all about they're a really good football team. Like we said, they're playing their best football. They've got a great coaching staff. Climate is one of the best in the country. Class act. You know, and he'll have his guys ready to go. I mean, I listened to his press conference. You know, he's already talking to his fans. This needs to be a crazy place. Thought it was really cool. He said, crazy place in the Bill. And whenever I was like, Bill. And then we did our presentation, special teams, and of course it's Bill Snyder Stadium. So I was like, oh, okay, the Bill. I got it.
Yeah, I loved your message too last week. Get off the mat. Yeah. And if you're down, get off the mat. A champion gets up. And love that, right? Love that message. It's good message in real life beyond just playing football too.
Yeah, and our creative team, you know, whenever they did the recap, the cinema recap, I mean, they threw that in there a little bit with Muhammad Ali. So I thought that was, I mean, they're the best. It's absolutely incredible what they produce and put out, and so yeah, you got to get off on the mat. You can't lay there, man.
All right, it's a big game, Manhattan, Kansas on Saturday. We'll come back again next week. For Joe McGuire, Robert Giovanet, that's been What's Next. Wreck 'em.